Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this week PTE class on Monday. So we will be starting the class with the beginning of the things with the PTE exam. So how many modules are there, atom types in them, times allotted and everything. And this class is provided by Sika, guys. It is free of the cost class. You do not have to pay anything to attend the session here. It's completely free, no charges at all. When I say no charges, no hidden costs are also there. That means you can come in, just log in into your Zoom accounts, and you will be here in the class with the help of the class ID. And that ID works from Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. That is the Melbourne time, right? And starting with the PTE, it's not only about the class we are providing right now. We do offer IELTS class as well, which will be around 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Melbourne time again, and Monday to Friday is the timing. And along with that, we also having NATI CCL classes, and that's for the languages Hindi, Punjabi, Urdu, and Nepalese. So these four languages, and normally the students majority comes from these particular backgrounds, language backgrounds. So it's like a complete free package for PTE, for IELTS, for NATI CCL, nothing to pay at all, right? And we're not offering the free services for the classes only or for the education only. We are doing that for the counseling services as well, not limited to education counseling but extended to the migration counseling as well. So we have free migration counseling, we have free education counseling. So anything, any piece of advice you after in regards to these two particular type of the counselings, you can come down and here in the office, and you can take your piece of advice. And also we are offering the Canadian migration, the counseling is free for that as well. And also the eligibility check is done for the Canada migration, which is also again not chargeable. So it's like a complete package given, right? And besides this, we do have the scholarships available with different universities. So it can be up to 25% of the university fees depending on the course you are selecting, the university you are selecting, and tenure of your studies, right? And also we deal in the overseas health cover. We do provide the lowest price possible when it comes to the overseas health cover. So anybody is about to have overseas health cover, kindly check the quotes with us first, right? We will be offering the lowest price possible. And definitely if you want to upgrade, add a new member, or maybe change the plans, so certainly you can check the quotes for sure, because you will be getting the fine deals here. And besides that, we also offer the USA visa. So if you know someone, or just you are curious to know what are my options in regards to USA visa, so you can also contact us for the given service as well. So the number on the screen which says 0396631318 is the number you can contact for any stated query. Or even if that query is not stated here, still you have a question in regards to your processes, you can call on this number and you will be directed to the respective department. And also this is an email ID which is marketing@sika.com.au. You can shoot your email with the concern mentioned in it. And also you can share your queries with me on the email ID here, pte@sika.com.au. So these are the online ways. And if you want to come down to our offices, Melbourne, Sydney, Adelaide, Brisbane, the offices are available. Counselors, every person is there, will be in the office. You can straightway come and have a face-to-face conversation, discussion, and suggestions, right? So this is about Sika, guys. And starting with PTE, this is the first thing we will be doing today. So PTE stands for Pearson Test of English. So as the name suggests, this is a test of your English language skills, and it is further divided into four parameters, which is your reading skills in English, writing skills, speaking skills, and your listening skills, right? So the test format will be we are having around 3 formats, but yes, what we are concerned about, we mostly concerned about PTE academic, whether we want to study abroad or we are already studying and looking for the immigration purposes, we want to give the English language credentials. So this test, this is the format and the test exam which we will be appearing for. Duration of the exam is 3 hours. That mean in total, you will be giving this exam for 3 hours, provided that there will be, take half an hour extend to it, because when you'll be entering in the center, always they say come early bit because there are formalities and that takes time. So altogether you will be in the examination center for 3.5 hours, right? But yeah, in that exam duration will be 3 hours. So you will be covering 4 modules in those 3 hours, and the part one will be consisting of speaking and writing. So speaking and writing, it will last for together 77 to 93 minutes. So 77 to 93 minutes means, that means this is the collective time for both the modules, speaking and writing as well. And if I say only speaking and writing, I'll be letting you know what will be the duration separately in the upcoming slides. And this is the overall time for part one. Part one being these two modules together. And first of all, when you will be sitting in the exam, you will be doing introduction session first. It is not any person to person conversation where you are introducing yourself. It's only on the system. When you will be logging into your exam, you will be sitting out there. So 30 seconds is given to you for your personal introduction, where you can include your name and your qualification and your hobbies, interest, and why you are preparing for this exam. So these particular 4 general questions you can answer as a part of your personal introduction. It is possible that you can skip it as well. It is not necessary, it is optional first of all, right? But it's neither bad to say something about yourself, and definitely this is like a way to get familiar with the recording yourself with the system. So it's like good to say something. Maybe it's up to your choice whether you add name, your qualification, where you belong to, and your interest and hobbies, and skipping while you're preparing for exam. So it can be in any format. Definitely intros have name and education and hobbies, etc. things. So these are what these are the general things you can include in your personal introduction part. And it is not scored. The Even if you are recording it, you won't be getting any score for that. It's just that the institute, the organization you have selected to send your report card to, this particular piece of introduction will be sent along, because the person looking at your particular test report card, before that she can listen to your piece of introduction as well. So it's optional, you may not give an introduction in the exam. After that, it will be beginning of your real test with the speaking modules. And before that, they will be giving you chances to check your mic, right? Check your mic, check your speakers, headphones, everything. So there will be chances up there where you are checking your device, like the headphones, the microphone, how you have to record yourself and then you are listening yourself, like playing it, right? So if it's very clear, it's audible enough, there is no distraction, the volume is fine, that means the mic is working good. Same like that, they will be playing a little pieces of the audio. That means it's in your command. You will be playing those pieces. If you are able to hear them clearly, no distraction, there is no cutting of the voice or something like that. Ultimately, that means your earpieces and handphone is fine, right? So this is the two things you will be also doing, right? And before that, even if you want to have, there will be a practice question, just one, right? And if you want to go with that, it's okay. If not, it's clearly fine, then you can start your test. So when you'll be clicking start the exam, they will be confirming it on the next screen that you have selected to start with your exam. When you're saying yes to that, your exam will begin, and your exam will begin with read aloud. So read aloud being the first item type of the exam. So it will be having 5 to 6 questions in the read aloud, and every question will be about, you will be having 30 to 40 seconds to answer the question. So as the name suggests, we are reading the text given on the screen in an aloud manner, and that what we'll be discussing after when we are finishing with all the item types, the basis of it, right? And after read aloud, 5 to 6 question are over. The screen will be the next question will be on the screen. Repeat sentence. Now it's to keep in mind there is no break in between the sections. Like when you are done with read aloud and you submitting your answer, clicking next, the next screen will be coming with the repeat sentence. So this is how it will be all together. Moving on to next item type automatically. And for whole of the speaking item types, there is no playback button. The audio will be played once only, and you will be given only one chance to record yourself, just in case you are hearing an audio, just like in retail lecture or repeat sentence. So there will be only one chance to hear that audio. And even for all the item types here, you will be given only one chance to record yourself. You miss that chance, you cannot continue with that question now. Even though you're not submitting and clicking next, it will automatically, after some seconds, it will automatically move to the next question. And if you, even if you're not doing that, you're wasting your time. And the speaking, it is individually timed, right? The system is taking care of the time, everything here. So when it is 40 seconds, even if you're not clicking next and not ready yet to move to the next question, but system will do that automatically. It won't be the case in reading, it won't be the case in listening. So this is like speaking is a little bit different, writing and speaking, because here everything is individually timed. Even in the writing, when your time is up, say 20 minutes they have given for you writing essay, you have written the essay or not written the essay, but after 20 minutes your screen will be moving to next automatically. So that's why they both put together in part one. So repeat sentence, where we are hearing a sentence, and after that we have to repeat that sentence in exactly the same way possible. And after that repeat sentence, we have describe image, right? Describe image is like when we are having an image on the screen and we have to describe that image in our own words, like what we are looking at in the image. So again, there will be around 6 to 7 question in describe image, and repeat sentence there will be 10 to 12 question. That means you are hearing 10 to 12 sentences in the repeat sentence. And retail lecture is like they will be making you hear a lecture, and after that you have to retell that lecture in your own words, right? There will be 2 to 3 such questions. And yeah, the timing, as I told you, the system will be giving you time. So when the audio is finished, here you have 40 seconds to respond. In the describe image as well, you have 40 seconds to respond. So this is how the things are in the speaking section, with the individual timers and the chances given to record yourself, but only once. And the last item type of the speaking will be answer short question. Answer short question, like there will be a general question related to the routine general life, what we see around, listen around, based on that. So these just like that, there will be 10 questions, 10-12 questions, but yeah, 10 questions probably. So you will be given one chance to say answer for every question, and within 3 seconds, you know that this is the golden rule of the speaking. Like for every question in the speaking, obviously you are recording yourself, and for the recording, if you are not speaking for the continuous 3 seconds, your mic will be automatically turned off. That means you won't be able to record your answer for that particular question item type, and your screen will move to the next question automatically. So don't feel like that you can sit idle and think about how I will be starting answering this question, or what could be the answer to this question. So within 3 seconds, if you're not speaking, the mic will automatically turned off. So there won't be another chance given to you to record your answer. So as I'm telling you, there will be only one response. So within 3 seconds of when it says status recording, that means now you are getting recorded. So you have to start speaking the answer, whether it is read aloud, repeat sentence, describe image, retell lecture, answer short question. You have to speak within 3 seconds. That means before the 3 seconds. So that means maybe the statistician turn to recording. So within 1 minute of that, I'll be start speaking my answer, right? And when these item types will be over and answer short question, this is the last question. Suppose you are answering, you submitting, clicking next. What will be you looking at? Summarize written text. This is the beginning of the writing module. Summarize written text. That means, okay, as the name suggests, we got a reading passage in front of us, right? And we have to make a summary of that passage. This is about the first item type of the writing. Again, this is again individually timed. That means you will be given 10 minutes. 10 minutes including the time you are reading the passage, 10 minutes including the time you're thinking of possible summary, and you are typing it. So altogether the 10 minutes will be given to you. It won't be like that when you start typing your 10 minutes start. No, when you start looking at on the reading passage or on the screen, your time starts there and then only. And there will be a response box where you will be typing your answer. And with that response box, on the one hand side bottom, you will be having the time left, and on the other hand side bottom, you will be having words written, right? Words. That means total word count. That's how they write it. It shows you how many words you have written for this question. And why it is there? Because the summarized written text or the essay or any answer where you are typing and submitting your response, you have to see your word count. For this summarized written text, they specifically given 5 to 75 words, right? So minimum 5 words and max 75 words. This is the duration or length of the number of the words we can write. And if you are writing less than that, more than that, ultimately you won't be able to, obviously you can write less than that, but you won't be able to type more than 75, right? And here again, there one thing more to be taken care of is like you are giving answer in one single sentence. There is no way that you can start with the sentence, finish it off, and then adding another sentence, then adding another sentence. You cannot make a paragraph. You have to write one single complex sentence in 10 minutes within the range of 5 to 75 for this particular question, which called summarized written text. And there will be minimum 2 question for this SWT. The short form of it, this one is SWT. So there will be minimum 2 question and max 3 question, right? So minimum you are doing 2 summarized written text question, max you are doing the 3, right? And yeah, again, after 10 minutes, even though you have finished your answer, you have not, but screen will move to the next question. When you are done with the SWTs, the next thing you will be doing are the essay. And why I say are the essays, because it may be the case you're getting only one, but it may be the case you're getting 2 essay. So minimum number of the essay in exam will be 1. The maximum number of the essay in the exam will be 2. So one essay will be of 20 minutes, and you have to write 200 to 300 word essay. And remember that minimum 200 words should be there, and you should not exceed your word from 300. This is the bar you will be having for 200 for writing the essay, from 200 to 300. And the timing for essay will be 20 minutes. So this 20-minute includes the time you are reading the essay statement, you are thinking of ideas, and you start typing, you thinking of examples in between, you are writing a conclusion, so everything, and you are doing the proofreading. So this includes everything, these 20 minutes. It is not the case like again that when I'll be typing only those minutes will be considered in 20 minutes. No. So when you're looking at screen, your time start ticking down. From 20 it will be 19 minutes, 18, 17, and this is how it will be from after 1 minute it'll be start counting down the seconds. 57 second, 10 second, 9, 8, right? Slowly steadily it will be. When it is 0, you won't be able to do anything on that screen, and your screen will move to the next question. If there is one more essay, so the next question will be the essay. If there is only one essay in your exam on that day, the next screen will be of reading, which is part 2, right? But here with the writing module, it is definitely to know, like the 3 possible combinations can be there. This SW2 and essay, 3 possible combination. That means you are having 2 summaries and 1 essay. This is the first combination. So timing varies. So if this is the combination, 30 minutes, right? Oh, sorry, 40 minutes is the time for the writing altogether. Obviously individually given, so you don't have to worry about the overall. And the second combination is 2 summaries and 2 essays. This could be your combination again. And the one more is like you getting 3 summaries and 1 essay. So maximum you will be having 2 essays and 2 summaries, right? And it won't be the case that you are having 3 summaries and 2 essay. No, it won't be the case. If there are 3 summaries, with that as well you are having 1 essay. If you are having 2 summaries, you can have like 2 essays, and even if it could be 2 summaries and 1 essay as well. So these are the 3 possible combination in the writing. This is our Sika, and as I told you, just share the visa expiry dates with us so that we can inform you when it is near to the expiry, that you can make the decision earlier in regards to whatever your plans for the future. So kindly do share your visa expiry dates, because sometimes we tend to forget and then we don't have enough time in our hand that for the extensions, for changing visa, for getting something another updates, right? So it's better that share that details. We'll be sending you a reminder with the possible options, right? Okay, so after the part 1 of the exam, which will be speaking and writing, the second part will be reading. So when you are done with the essay writing, the next question on the screen will be will be any of the item type of the reading, and the total time given for the reading is 32 to 41 minutes. So what it means, that altogether, like for the whole of the 5 items type you can see on the screen, and each item type have different set of the question. Altogether you will be having whether 32 to 32 minutes, 33, 4, and it can be up to 41 minutes. Why there is a variation of the time and there is no specific time? Because the number of question will not be particularly specific. That means altogether, out of 5 item types, maybe you are having 15 question altogether, maybe 16, 17, and they can up to 20. So 15 to 20 are the question numbers in total you are doing in part 2 reading, and 32 to 41, this will be the time. Depending on the number of question, timing will be between 32 to 41 minutes, right? So out of these reading item types, the most important one is reading and writing, filling in the blanks. Now, why this is the most important? First of all, it got the maximum question out of all the 5. That means it will be having 5 to 6 question in this item type only. And every question will be carrying around again 5 to 6 blanks in it. So the potential of the marking, it is quite high here with this item type. And secondly, this item type is not imparting score to reading, but also to the writing as well. So reading and writing both are assessed with this item type, which makes it the important question, right? And equal score is divided in between reading and writing. So as it is important item type for the reading, it is again important item type for your writing score as well. So this is the first item type of the part 2 reading. And the multiple choice, multiple answer question, it will be 2 to 3 in number. So here we are selecting more than one response on the basis of the passage given and the question and the option. So we got question, we got options, we got reading passage, and basis on that reading passage we have to tell which options are right. And obviously if it's a multiple choice, multiple answer question, that mean I'm selecting more than one response, right? And instruction should be read, because the single answer and multiple answer, they look quite similar, but by the instruction we can judge, okay, whether I'm looking for multiple answers or whether I'm looking for one single answer. So when it is multiple choice single answer, you are selecting only one response. And here, obviously, for every right answer, 1 mark, for wrong answer, 0. But with multiple choice, multiple answer, suppose you have selected out of 4, 2 answer, and one is right, one is wrong. So you will be having a -1 for the wrong answer. So that's why for this particular question, you have to keep in mind there is a negative marking. So there are few questions in the PTE which got the negative marking, and out of that, this is the first one. Like you see, part 1 we discussed this one. Out of all the item types you are doing here, there is no negative marking. However, your responses will be in the speaking item type. You will be getting question. Same implements to the writing one, right? And this is an individually timed part, right? Every item type, the system is giving you time. But this in the part 2 reading, there won't be first of all individual timer for any question. Altogether timing will be there. That means suppose they are giving you 40 minutes and there are 18 questions in total. They won't be telling you the number of questions. This is, I'm just exemplifying. We have 40 minutes and around 18 questions suppose. Now the 40-minute timer, it will be start ticking down as soon as early as you look at the first reading question, right? Maybe suppose it's reading and writing filler first question, so the clock will be counting down from 40 to 39, 38, 37, right? So like here on the screen, this area, you will be having this countdown timer for the reading, how much time left, it will be saying time left. So you have to see how much time you are spending on each question. And after we discuss the part 3 or this one only, I'll share a slide with the time management for the reading. So that will be the approximate time for every question in each single in each item type. You will be spending those particular minutes. And if you are keeping track of the time by that particular slide, ultimately you will be finishing in time. It won't be the case that time is over and you still have to do few questions, because that is the worst case scenario, right? So as this is having negative marking, this won't be having. And after reading and writing filling in the blanks, the second important question in reading is reading filling in the blanks. Now reading filling in the blanks, it's like again we again having the text written with few gaps in it. So those are the blanks we have to fill. They will be giving us options, right? And here the number of blanks will be less, like there will be 2 to 3 questions, right? And each question will be having 3 to 4 blanks, sometime 2 as well, right? So depending on that, but this is again obviously this is imparting score to reading only, and as compared to the other question, it got more marks after reading and writing fill-ups. And the reorder paragraphs, when we are rearranging the order of the given paragraph. Now this question, it will be like one question will giving you 5 marks, and 5 or 6 depending on how many sentences are in there. So 2 to 3 question will be there. So this is how the marking of this question. After we discuss this part 3 of the this test, we will be talking about the marking scheme as well. So this is reading filling in the blanks, then after that reorder paragraph. So the least number from this question, from this part, holding with the multiple choice single answer. But of course, as we are targeting for 80 plus, 79 plus, so every question is important. Even 1 mark we cannot have a dare to lose that mark, like okay fine, this is only 1 mark, I'm not doing this question. We won't do that, we won't be able to do that, right? But this is the only question having negative marking. So here when selecting the option, we have to be mindful that if 4 options are given or 5 given, definitely one option you will be easily able to detect. Okay, but when it comes to the second option to find, sometime it becomes difficult. And if you're finding it correctly, no confusion, mark it. But if you feel like okay, I have a confusion, I'm not sure, so rather than losing the positive mark, it's better to not mark any option and just grab that 1 mark at least, right? So just a minute. So after the part 2 of the reading, when you will be entering into the examination center, there will be few formalities. They're checking your identity, they're taking your fingerprints, thumbprints, right? And obviously they're taking a picture of yours, and that picture will be on your score report card. And they will be asking you if you want to take 10-minute optional break, right? So after speaking and writing, which will be part 1, and reading, which will be part 2, there will be a 10 minutes break. So they will ask you before you sitting in the examination hall that whether you want to take that break or not. And always I recommend say yes to that break, because obviously it is like 10 minutes. You can take a stroll, you can use the restroom, right? Because you will be sitting straight there for around 2 hours, right? For all these three modules. So yeah, you can have water, you can come out of the examination hall, not the examination center, right? You have to be in the premises only, and you can only go to the restroom, and to you can only use the water facility provided there, and take a stroll there. And that's what you can do, right? And then when 10 minutes is over, it's like you are giving yourself an eyes relaxing moment. So always take that break. And of course, why to take that break, that another part 3, which is listening, it will be around 1 hour, not exactly 1 hour, but around 1 hour. So it needs lot of concentration, because all the listening question, they are based on recordings, audios, right? There is nothing you are looking at, or there will be text given and you are selecting your answer. No, listening is all about the audios you are hearing to. So it definitely need a lot of concentration, because it is the only one thing you are relying on for your answers. So refresh yourself so that you are in a good state of mind to focus, right? So after that 10 minutes break, the next part will be part 3, listening. So you see here, as I told you, it won't be exactly 1 hour, but around that. So 45 to 57 minutes, right? So there are 8 item type in the listening, starting with summarized spoken text, finishing off at write from dictation. So part 3, again, why there is a no specific time limit, why it is 45 to 57, because again, the number of question are never fixed. Because it will be saying 2 to 3 question. So you may have 2 question in one particular item type, or may have 3. So that's why number of question are not fixed. There are no fixed timings here. And here as well. Okay, before this one, I like to share the time management slide for the reading, which will help you with the managing your time. So how to manage time? So many student, okay, we'll be doing this slide all together later, because this got few slides discuss in it as well. All right, so we'll come to that later. All right, so we got 8 item types, and the first one, summarize spoken text. This is individually timed. Individually timed means, again, just like SW2 essay speaking item types, the system will be giving you 10 minutes for SPT, summarize spoken text, right? And when 10 minutes will be over, the screen will be automatically moved to the next one. Beside this summarize spoken text, no option is individual time. You have to submit your answer and click next, and then you are able to see the next question. The time won't stop. It won't be like that if I'm not clicking next, the timing will stop there, and I can borrow more time to think for the question and remember, okay, what I heard in the audio. No. So when whatever time, I mean, the more time you will be taking, so what will happen, the more time you will be taking, the overall time keep on reducing, right? It keep on declining, and it's like ultimately the time you need to spend on the next question, you are wasting it on to the same very question. So it's your responsibility how you are moving from one question to another, how much time you need, and how much time you are giving to that question. So every question is equally important. I tell you what are the most important question here, and the least important as well. But again, as we are targeting for 80 plus, so it makes every question important, right? And here summarize spoken text, we will be having 10 minutes, right? There will be 2 summarized spoken text we are doing, or maybe 3, 2 to 3 question will be there in summarized spoken text as well. And here we have to listen and write. So 2 skills will be assessed here. First, I am hearing to a lecture. Yes, you see the name tells summarize spoken text. That means I made heard an audio, and after that I have to write a summary of that audio. Okay, what I heard. So what I'll be doing, definitely I'll be listening, I'll be taking notes, and when it is the time to write that summary, they will be giving me 10 minutes. So according to notes I have taken, according to memory I have of that audio, I will be making possible summary. That's the question. And yeah, it will be like 10 minutes, so maybe 2 questions. So 20 minutes you will be spending on this very item type. And the most important question in the listening is write from dictation, and this is placed at the last position. So if you are spending time, uh, unnecessary time, I would say, on the item types before write from dictation, it may be the case that you're not able to reach to the write from dictation. Then it will be a huge loss for you, because the write from dictation, this got the maximum score. And it is not only for the listening, right, max score, but for the writing as well. So sorry listening and writing are the 2 modules we getting score here in the write from dictation, and this is out of all the item type, this got the maximum score. So that's make also important to give all required time on each of the question we are doing, and reaching to write from dictation, having sufficient time to do the question here. So how many question will be in the write from dictation? There will be around 3 to 4 question. Now no big deal, even if you're reaching it and you are having 5 minutes left, or maybe 4 minutes left, say 5 minutes left, right? So still that means you have managed your time pretty well. Even if you have 4 minutes left, still you have managed your time pretty well. So this is an indication you can have, like whether I have spent a lot of time, whether not. And definitely when you're doing practice session with the whole of the part 3, it will be keep telling you like how much time you have spent, and if you are utilizing more time on one question, or it's like you are utilizing less time on one question. So it won't be the either way, it will be bad for you. So require sufficient time must be given. And this will be the first question of the listening, summarize spoken text. And write from dictation will always be the last question, right? And other item type, these one you are seeing in between, multiple choice to highlight, their order can be changed. Order, that mean it is not always that after summarize spoken text you are getting MCQ, right? It could be the case you are getting filling in the blanks, then you're getting highlight incorrect word, then you're getting single answer, then you're getting highlight incorrect summary, then you're getting select missing word. So don't get confused, but altogether this 8 type of the item types will be there. And the summarized spoken text will be the first beginning, right from dictation will be always the last, right? And obviously when you'll be keep practicing a lot, you know that how many questions I have done and how many item types are still pending, so that this is no big deal to judge. So this got the maximum score. And question which got the negative marking in the listening is here, highlight incorrect word. Now this question got the negative marking. So when we are answering this very question, and actually this got good scores as well, we have to keep in mind, if I'm selecting any option which is not right, I'll be receiving a -1 for that. So that's make it important question, because it can decrease your overall score as well. So even if sometimes there are 7 words which are incorrect in the some reading text we are looking at, from the audio we are hearing, and we are selecting them, and that means from one single question I get 7 marks, right? And there will be 2 to 3 questions. So you see 14 or 21, or this is like around scoring I'll be receiving from this very question. And this question is not only giving again score in the listening, but also to the reading as well. because listening and reading are the two tasks we are doing here, and that's how we are selecting our answer. And beside this one, other question which got the negative marking is again multiple choice, multiple answer. Remember that whenever we have multiple choice, multiple answer, we got negative marking. And it is very clear why we got negative marking, because if you are selecting all the responses given and there is no negative marking, so whatever is right you get 1 mark, whatever is wrong you get 0 for that. So why you will be hearing to the lecture, or why you will be even reading the text given? You can simply mark everything. Okay, whatever is right I'll be getting mark, whatever is wrong it will be 0, right? So that's why there is a negative marking. So if you're selecting all the responses and out of that 2 are right, 2 are wrong, your score will be 0, right? No positive, no negatives. You are selecting 3 responses, 2 are right, 1 is wrong, 2 minus 1, your score come down to 1. So that's why you will be very wiseful when you are selecting the option. That's why they have kept it this way with the multiple choice, multiple answer. And this is again the reason with highlight incorrect word as well, right? So altogether you will see there are not much of the question where you have the negative marking. It just highlight incorrect word and multiple choice, multiple answer in the listening, and multiple answer again in the reading. That's it. And besides that, no negative marking. So 3 questions only got the negative marking. And yeah, here many question in the listening, they are giving score to their counter module as well. If I go with the first one, summarize spoken text, here you are listening and writing your answer. So listening and writing, 2 modules are getting score. Multiple choice, no, clearly it will give listening scores only. Filling in the blanks, again it will give listening and writing score, because you have to fill in the missed words. And how you will be doing that? Obviously you are typing them, so writing. Highlight correct summary, here the score will be with the reading and listening. So because you are reading the 4 different options, comparing it with the audio you heard, and then you are marking your answer, right? So listening module, why it is in the part 3 and why it is having a 10-minute break, because many of the almost all of the item types except 3, they are giving score to their other enabling skill like reading, listening, whatever. They are giving score to other module as well. So that's why they have kept at last, and there is a 10-minute break to relax your nerves down and give relaxation to your arms and have water, refresh yourself so that you can sit well for this long run, right? And highlight correct summary, this is giving reading score and listening. Multiple choice single answer, only the listening score. Missing word, only the listening score. Highlight incorrect words, reading and listening. And writing, right from dictation, reading, listening and writing. So this is how the scores will be imparted to different one. And the multiple choice, we are selecting one response. Select missing word is a question. There will be 2 to 3 question, each question will be of 1 mark. So 2 to 3 is the maximum potential of this item type. So it's like the end last word of of the recording will be missed, or last a phrase will be missed, and option will be given and you have to select which one is right. This is the question. And as right from dictation, that means you are made heard a sentence, you have to type the sentence exactly as you heard it. So spelling matter, punctuation matter, and the capitalization matters here, the sequence of the sentence matter here. So again, but this got no negative marking. So whatever you remember, you typing in according to that, basis of that you are getting scores. So these are the 3 parts of the PT exam. Right, first part speaking and writing, second part reading, third part listening. And now you know which question got the negative marking, which question is imparting score to which particular item type, besides being into the listening, beside being into the speaking, writing, any module. Writing score remain with the writing module is not imparting score to any other. But yes, the bars, it is adding up, they are more in number. When you are doing writing, the written discourse mark bar in the scorecard, it is greatly affected. The spelling bar, vocabulary bar, grammar bar. So 4 bars in the scorecard. When you are writing a response, this is getting affected, right? So that's why the punctuation, spelling, and grammar, it play a huge role in deciding your score. And again, the grammar structure, which will be accountable for your written discourse, right? So this is why it is very important, whenever I'm writing my response, I must be taking care of the sentence formation, the flow of the ideas, the grammar, the spellings, and the punctuation, because the 4 bars will be getting enabling marks from those particular the ways I have written something in my answers, right? So these are the 3 part. And just looking at the time management slide. So here is the time management. Yeah, the time management. So the PT is speaking, each of the task is individually timed. You don't have to worry about the time. You just need to follow the instruction and watch the clock, right? And watch the clock with the progress bar. You can watch that. There won't be timer, but the progress bar will tell you when it is 30 second, when it is 40, right? Below are the time given for each of the individual preparation time and speaking time. Read aloud, they will be giving 30 to 40 second to prepare and 30 to 40 second to respond, right? The length of the paragraph determine the length of the time you get. Why it is not specific? Because sometimes the paragraphs we are looking at, they are small, then they will be giving us 30 minutes. If they are lengthy paragraphs, they will be giving us 40 minutes. Sometimes they give us 35 minutes, 36 minutes. So 5 to 6 question will be there. Each paragraph length will be different. So this will be the range, how much time they will be giving you to prepare around it. Round about this one, they give you to answer. So repeat sentence, here you are repeating the listen sentence, and 3 to 5 seconds in the length, you should repeat it back in the same length of time. So definitely when you know that when we will be speaking a sentence, how much max time we can take, maybe 3 seconds or maximum 5 seconds. This is the time we will be speaking one sentence. You speak any sentence, you know that this will be the time. So when you are answering the question, your timing will be around 3 to 5 seconds. Then you see, you will be exactly repeating it back in the same length, same tone, same words, same structure, right? And the 3 second pause, you know that if you're taking a pause longer than 3 seconds, maybe in the start of the answer, maybe in between the answer, maybe by the end of the answer, if your pause is more than 3 seconds long, the answer will be void. That means the answer is not getting recorded now. Describe image. Just a second, guys, I have to drink water. Describe image, you will be given 20 seconds to prepare the image, right? And you will be given 40 seconds to answer. And it is always recommend that must be speaking for 35 seconds. It must not be less than 35 seconds, and try it must not be more than 35 seconds. Why must not be more than 35 seconds? There is nothing bad if you're speaking for 36 seconds, 37, but giving yourself that I have to finish my answer in 35, we ultimately finishing it in 36. And just in case we are starting a sentence at 36 seconds or 37, it is greatly possible that I'm not able to complete that sentence in another 3-4 seconds. And what will happen? 40 seconds will be over and my sentence will be chopped off. Maybe it's a one word only which is chopping off. And how it will affect my score? It will affect my score negatively. I will be having the less mark in fluency. I will be losing mark in pronunciation. I will be losing mark in content. So better I must give myself a target that 35 seconds I have to finish my answer. So if you're finishing 35 seconds, you are doing a great job, right? So that's why it is recommended. You see, your grammar score will be decreased, your fluency score will be decreased. So why to take chance? And the retail lecture, the lecture is more or less 90 seconds, as you will be hearing it, and obviously you are taking notes while you are hearing. And then you have to prepare yourself for 10 seconds, and that means you are arranging your thoughts, like how I will be beginning and how I will be finishing off, adding the content, key content from the notes you have taken or from the memories you have from the lecture. And then after that you have to retell for 40 seconds. Again, the timing will be 35 seconds, the mark will be 35 seconds. So 35-36 seconds you must be finishing your answer in retail lecture as well. Same timing as the describe image implements here, and reason also same. Answers to short question, you will be listening to the question for 3 to 5 seconds. As you know, there will be one single sentence in the question, like what is the chemical formula of water. So 3 to 5 seconds you are hearing the question and you have to answer the question in 1 or 2 seconds, right? Again, make sure you start answering within 3 seconds or the task will move on. That means if I said what is the chemical formula of H2O and you kept thinking and it's already 3 seconds, so that means screen will be moved to the next question. You won't be able to answer that question now. So within 1 second of the audio you heard, you have to give your answer. Keep looking on the screen, it will tell you status recording. That means now you're getting recorded, and as soon as you look recording, that means it is already 1 second. So you are speaking at that very instant moment, right? And yeah, beep sounds are there, but sometime we ignore them, or we just thinking involved into the question a lot that we didn't even hear that. But yes, keep an eye on the screen, keep your ears open to any kind of beep sound which tell you this is the time to say answer. This for the sorry, this is for the speaking item types, the timings. And the writing time management, so 10 minutes to read, prepare, write and edit. Why this is too important? This is important to know that we got 10 minutes, right, in the summarized written text for single question. If there are two questions, so individually I'll be getting 10 minutes each, right? But here, if you're finishing your answer early, say you have finishing your answer in 6 minutes, you have 4 minutes left, and you clicking next and going to the next question, it is not possible that you are carrying forward your time, you carrying forward those 4 minutes. No, it won't be the case that the next question you are having 14 minutes. No. So whatever time you're having for one single question, it will be over with that very question only. Even though you're finishing it in 5 minutes, 5 minutes you have wasted. It's okay, move on. And it's like you're utilizing all the 10 minutes. So better, why not to utilize? Even though you have written the question, read it, check for mistake. Just do any kind of proofreading you want to. Look at the spellings, grammar, punctuation again and again, the verb combination, the complex sentence structure is right or wrong, so that you are utilizing time, because ultimately after 10 minutes it will move forward and no time is carried forward. So whatever you are finishing your time here with, it's finished here only, right? Writing essay, you have 20 minutes to prepare, write and edit. So when I'm writing these read, prepare, write, edit, prepare, write, edit, you mean that you understand that even you are reading the statement of the essay, your time is ticking down. It's already 19 minutes left, right? So if I say like on an average, you have only 13 minutes to type an essay, 13 or 14 minutes to type exactly the words you are typing. Another 5-7 minutes, you are reading statement, you're thinking of ideas, examples, and obviously proofreading. So this all time takes your 7 minutes around. So on an average, we have 13 minutes to type. So improve your typing speed. If you not able to type 250 word plus in 13 minutes, that means you need to work on your typing skills. So use all the time, because the save time doesn't carry over to the other task. So it will finish here only. This is important. PT reading slide, how we are managing our time in the reading. So we got multiple choice, multiple answer question and 2 to 3 question as I told you. So this is the recommended time as per me on each question, 3 minutes. So that means we got 2 questions, so 6 minutes I'm spending here, right? Single answer, each question I'm spending 2. So we got 3 questions, suppose altogether 6 minutes, 2 question 4 minutes, right? This is how you are practicing in the given time management slot. Reorder paragraph, you are having 1 minute 30 seconds for one question. So I'm having 2 questions, that means I'm having altogether 3 minutes for this particular item type, right? I'm having 3 questions for the reorder paragraph, that means I am having 3 minutes and 30 seconds for all together this question, not more than that. 3 and 4, yeah, 4 minutes and 30 seconds, right? If I'm having 3 questions. So even less than 5 minutes we are spending on this reorder paragraph in any case, even it's 3 questions. Filling in the blanks, we are having 4 to 5 filling in the blanks. And you see, timing here, we are spending only 1 minute on each question. Because I told you like there will be only sometime 2 blanks, 3 blanks, and words are, I mean, this the format in which those blanks are put up, they are, it is only having sometime 80 words and even less than 80 words. So very easy to read quickly, and option are there. You have to drag and drop the option. So 1 minute is enough with this one question, and 4 to 5 question can be there. So 1 minute, so 4 question, 4 minutes, 5. This is the overall time you are spending on this very question. Reading and writing, filling in the blanks. So most important, and spending majority, you will see the time you will spending on these questions. So even there are 5 questions, so 3 on each. That means altogether, suppose you are spending 15 minutes out of this 32 minute given. 15 you are spending on this very question, right? 15 if I'm right, 5 3 15. Yeah, you can do the calculation, right? And if it's not that if I've said that okay 3 minutes and you have already done the answer and you know that this is right, still you are spending your time because you have to know, then don't do that. Utilize at that time for any question maybe which is difficult for you. Maybe you encounter a question which require more time, because this is not the item types where the timing is not carried forward, because it got one single timer. So whatever time you are spending, it's in your hand how much time you are giving to any question. Suppose you are good with the reorder paragraph, you finishing it off in 3 minutes only, move to next question. Or maybe you good with the single answer, so you not need 2 minutes to answer one question, you need only 1 minute. So move to next question, right? Because here the timing is like single time section, so the timing is can be used for the other question. Okay, so the summarize is spoken text as told already. This is the individually timed, right? And you can consider this task separate to the other 6 listening tasks. Why? Because here you will be having 10-minute timer, but after that other 7 months there won't be individual timer, there will be then one single timer. So, right, so you have to make sure that you move efficiently yet accurately through them. Don't waste time in PT listening, because it is vitally important that you make it to the final task, which is called write from dictation. And why, we already have discussed that. So this is like already my review, like I have seen many candidates get low writing and listening score because they did not move quickly enough through PT listening, and as such missed some of the write from dictation question. So you see, the write from dictation is important, and we have to move efficiently yet accurately through the other item types of the listening, so that we reach there and get our sufficient time to manage that question, and it is individual parameter how much time you required for these questions. For me it may be 5 minutes, for you it will be 7 minutes, for some it is only 3 minutes. So it is like every person is different. So with the practice sessions only you will come to know how much time you need. And in PT listening you will get the answer during the audio or immediately after the audio. Therefore, you really should not spend time looking at the answer. If you listen carefully, took notes, then you can match your notes to the correct answer option in just a few seconds. So you see, when you are hearing audio for every question in the listening, so how much time ultimately you are giving to the answer? Only a few seconds. Why few seconds? Because you have taken notes maybe, or maybe you have a memory only with of that audio. So using that memory, using that notes, take few seconds, mark the answer, because you have to just mark the box given, right? This is how the listening question generally are. You have to click the right answer option box. So move quickly to the next. Take select missing word for example. So in this task, you will hear a short audio of 30 seconds. The final word or word is missing, and you must select from a list of 5 option which word is missing. So for this, how much time you must be taking? You already the audio is finished. If you have taken notes or if you have memory, assess those things. Quickly see 5 option. Okay, I think this one is third one is right. Click that, move next. So maybe you only utilized 15 second on that. So this is how you have to see how much time is sufficient for a question. You should select immediately, obviously, because the more time you will be taking, the less memory you will be having, and definitely you will be more confused. So audio is not coming back, it's not played again. So whatever you know now is the only material you know for that very question. So make a choice, right? Efficiently yet accurately. Remember that. The same goes for the other task. For single answer, highlight correct summary. Right. For every question, you will be like taking note of the time, how much you should be spending. All right. So this means that you should only spend about 30 seconds after the audio has finished before you move to the next question, because all you do is match your notes to the correct answer option. Reading through the answer option should only take you about 30 seconds. So this is roughly around the time you are taking to mark your answer after you heard the recordings for the listening item types. Remember, the audio is not coming back. You cannot replay it. If you do not know the answer, guess and move on. Don't waste precious time. So while making guess, keep a note of the question where there is a negative marking. Don't make random guess there, but except those questions, definitely you can make guess because there is no negative marking. So finally, for the listening, for summarized spoken text, we have 10 minutes to take notes, write and edit. And of course, we are using all the given 10 minutes because the time doesn't carry forward to the other task. And for the rest of the listening task, you must listen, take note, select the answer, and click next. That's how you will be moving screen to screen. So, yeah, ultimately, it all comes down to method and practice. So, practice with methods and technique and see which thing, which particular way works best for you. Especially take a note of this one, PT reading timing, right? Except that we already know, we keep discussing that even when we are doing these questions, right? So this is about your time management of the PTE. So just a second. PTE books. This is So there are few essays of the PTE. When we'll be doing the essay class, those are the general essays, or you can say those are the essays covering all the subjects. And usually, student get essays from those lists. So I'll be sharing that on the day we will be discussing the essay now. But recently, the essay was there of plastic money, and we all aware that this is quite a repetitive essay. So even the list I got, it has around, I tell you how many essays are there. Yeah, 34 essays, I guess. Yeah, 34 essays. So no big deal, 34 essay, but it covers all the subjects like technology, education, environment, sports, and this plastic money thing, like the things of social related essay like children behavior, societal. So this is not today we will be talking about it for sure, but yes, when we will be discussing essay. And this is the listening template. So this is summarized spoken text template. Normally I share only one, but these three are there. Whatever you feel good and you learn well, use that one. And the blanks in these templates are the places where you are fixing the notes you have taken while listening the audio. So beside the template I already shared with you, these are the another three examples. The summary entails the information regarding. So you see, I what I told you, like when we are writing a response, we are actually boosting our score card 4 bars: written discourse, spelling, grammar, vocabulary. So that's why these templates are very helpful. Some students, they write their own way, they write their own sentences with variated vocabulary, good grammar, good punctuation, capitalization, and everything. If you one of them, go ahead, right? But if you feel like no, if I have a structure, I can perform more accurately, more precisely to the requirements, then follow the structures. So it says the summary entails the information regarding, so whatever the lecture is about. The speaker has shed some light on some key features in relation to above, like as in compendium. Even and any word if you do not know the meaning of, kindly do search the meaning. Don't go a blind path, right? Because sometimes we have to fix phrases in these templates, and some phrases don't gel up with those meanings, right? Meaning of the words after that or maybe before that. So just in case you're not sure of a meaning in the template, word meaning in a template, do search that meaning. It will add up to your vocabulary as well, and definitely it's a brushing your vocab skills. And secondly, you will be in a better position to frame a good sentence, right? And speaker has drawn a conclusion that, and then you're finishing it off. And listening summarized spoken text, we have 50 to 70 words bar, like minimum 50 word, maximum 70. We won't be able to type more than 70. So this is like around 65, 69. I'm finishing off 50, 55, depending on how much words you have, and what is the structure you are following. The second says the given summary is mainly about and focusing on some key factors mentioned by speaker, which are dash and also dash has been discussed. The final conclusion states that, and then you can write up the conclusion. And you will see the every statement here is the opening one, as we say introductory, and every last statement here is a conclusive one. So if you are framing an answer with your own choice of the words, make sure that the initial sentence need to be introductory and the last need to be conclusive, and the sentences you are writing in between, they must be shedding light on the key contents, key highlights. These three structure and the structure I have given you already, four structures for the listening, summarize, spoken text. So you see they are following the same pattern: intro, key content, conclusion. And even if you are writing your answer with your own words, you must be having this structure, because this will indicate a good written discourse, right? And your answer will be taken as a complete answer, which is having intro, keynotes, and the conclusion. And the last one, the talk delineates about the, describes about the, even you can write this one. And according to lecture, speaker is mainly stressing on some key factors like as dash. Also speaker has discussed about dash. Last but not the least, the final conclusion has been stated by saying that whatever she has said, that will be the last thing. So these structures, because the one I shared, some student they find it lengthy, so these are like very precise. If you find this one good, you can pick up any one of out of these three and you can use that. And the next thing I'll be sharing today so this one I already shared with you guys. Both I did, yeah, already shared. Whatever templates I'm having, that what I'll be sharing. The one which I have not shared yet. So normally there is a question like where I can get A to Z knowledge of the PT test. So if you are after such particular thing, then this is the book, PT Academic Pearson Test of English Academic Official Guide to, right? This will help you, just a sec. This will help you to know everything, and this is it contain information about the format, right? Authentic test question to practice answering. Authentic test question, that mean sort of the real exam question, like obviously not those one that will be in your exam, but yes, it got the real exam question, screens, everything, to understand it, to practice it, to learn it, to improve yourself, right? Then sample responses are also given. CDs will be attached with this guide, and explanation to those responses will be there. And test taking strategy, with every question there will be a note given, like tip to improve, right? So the strategies are also discussed, and there are over 200 additional practice questions. I mean, altogether I guess there will be 4-6 tests in that, and all over there will be over 200 practice question, right? On an interactive CD-ROM, because you know you need to listen to a lot of audios for the PTE. So and there will be the CDs available, right? At the end of the book, if you're buying it, at the end of the book, if you're downloading it, so you have to download the audios as well, right? So this is the book that is called the official guide, and covering, and this is the like the PDF I am having, it is around 249 pages. So exactly you can download it from the Google, right? And it tell you each and everything in detail about the exam. Even if you are a person who is having no knowledge of the PTE, reading this book will make you learn and know everything about the PTE, how it is marked, how the item types are, the timings, right? And the tips, strategies, some practice question, of course, how the audios will be played, right? So this is like a complete package. This is official guide, right? So this is how it will be lessons wise. The things are given in here. Very informative. and easy to download from the Google and easy to buy. I mean, different website. This book is there. The Amazon is the most convenient one. You easily get this from Amazon. And beside the official guide, if you want to have the practice question and you don't want to go the internet way, internet huge resources are available, but if you still feel no, I want to go some authentic questions, then there are books named PTE Advantage. After this one, it got 3 tests and over 200 question, the official guide. But after the official guide, there are the books named PTE Advantage, right? You can search this book on Google as well. Then there is PTE Expert B1, B2. They are the next books, right? Just a second, guys. Okay, Uma, you have a question? Okay, I'll just showing you how the expert B2 book look like. And again, that is helpful to you guys. Here it is. So this is sort of my saved copy, but this is how it will be, right? And it got test in it, authentic test, obviously practice question, answers to those question, recordings, right? Strategies. So this is another authentic resource to practice from. So PTE official guide, PTE advantage, and then expert B1, then expert B2. So it should be done in the same pattern I am telling you, the same sequence, because the difficulty level keep on rising from official guide to advantage and to expert. You see, this is like advanced, beginner, moderate, and advanced sort of, right? This is how it will be. So this is not very good, but when you'll be downloading it, and if you are buying it from somewhere, or borrowing it from any library or something, then ultimately you can use it in a much better way. And I think these are available. You can check with the libraries as well if you want to uh, have have them borrowed from that places. You can check, of course. I think they will be available. And then there were grammar lessons. Like, yeah. So just in case you want to polish your grammar, so you can go after the book named Daily Grammar Lessons by Bill Johnson. So it's Bill Johansson, just like that the name is. I don't remember it exactly, but Daily Grammar Lessons by Bill Bill Johansson. So this will give you a good material to learn the things about grammar, and you can definitely improve your grammar's mistakes from this one. It got 43 around chapters, and those chapter will be having everything discussed in that, like what is the use of noun, pronoun, adverb, preposition, conjunctions, and capitalization, and everything which we need in good written discourse and good for the good marking in grammar. It will be given that. Just in case you want to polish that, you can, and this is available online as well for free. And you can, whenever you have time, just go through one or two chapter. It's very easy. This seems like 43, but very easy. And definitely brushing up your grammar, brushing up these particular things will help you immensely in your PT exam. So this is again another thing you can go with. And if you're done with the 4 books, then you can go after Practice Test Plus. This is another book from the PTE officials, you can say. It name PTE, what's the name of Practice Test Plus. Practice Test Plus. Again, it got the authentic practice questions in it. Like 4 tests will be there, right? And the keys to answer and series will be attached. Just like the official guide, it got that green and blue color cover. So these 4 books I mentioned, the one official guide, Practice Test Plus, Advanced Advantage, and then Expert V1, Expert B2, 5 books. So these are from the PT itself. So if you can look for these books on the Google, or you can download them somewhere, or maybe you can borrow from some library, or you actually purchase them. So these are the one having the exactly questions or the screens and everything as you will be having in your exam. So you can practice from there as well. And after that, when you are done with practicing with these all books, the Google is always there, right? Where you are having different sort of the websites available with the practice question. And then you have the YouTube videos to practice the question. There are a lot of resources available on the YouTube, right? And just a sec, let me share this one as well. Right. And just in case you have any query in a question and you want to know why it is wrong or right, you can come to this class in 10 to 12 time and you can discuss that. And moreover, if you want to, when you are preparing with all those books like the one I mentioned from the PT itself, so what you can do, there are the test to book from the PT website, which we call scored mock test, when you are near to the exam, but do not take just like day before the exam, because if your marks are less than that, you will be losing all the confidence you have. So at least give yourself good 1.5 week before the real exam, book your scored mock test around half a week before the real test, right? That will give you an average of where you are standing right now. And mostly this the scored mock test score is and the real exam score is somehow near about same. So it's like they are more difficult, but yeah, keep in mind the real exam, it will be little easy as compared to those mock tests. But yes, they will give you a picture of where you are right now. And if you are doing any particular error, you are understanding the strategy somehow in another manner, but in the real exam, it is different. Or sometimes there is a timing errors we do or something. Yes, Uma, you can ask
Uh,
the question.
do we need to register for this mock test? And if so, how much is that for?
You simply on the Google, if you go PTE scored mock test, you will be getting a link for that, and it will be it is a package. It is a package sort of one exam, two exam, and three exam. So they give you three different packages. So the price is as per the package. So it's your choice. You just wanna go after only one exam, so just buy that. It is the cheapest one. And say, obviously the say, two one it will be costly, and third one it will be the expensive one. So but it I believe one test is enough, and it will be, I don't have any idea, but it'll be around 30-35 dollars, I think so. But you can search it, because normally the prices, there is a review on the prices every time. So this will be the price, and not much costly as compared to the cost of real exam. It is better to go through that those test one. And if you want to go through different websites which are providing the score mock test, some applications, I suppose you know that already, like AP Uni, you don't have to pay. They just tell you the scores for each question. And but authentically, there are few more websites where you can go, pay some amount and have a scored mock test, and they tell you the real scores as well, and also tell you what are the mistakes as well, review of the test as well. So I'll come up with those website name in a few days. I'm just checking them, which are the good one, because there are many available, and it's not like if we are just going on a random spree, we wasting our money. So I'll be just checking which are good and authentic, and their scoring is accurate, and as compared to PT, it's much relatable. Then I'll be letting you know one or two website, those website as well in Australia. I know few are from India, but not from Australia. If you can find here the TCS, this is again good one. If you can find it here, I don't know if it's operating here in Australia or not, but you can search and see if they are operating, because their price is fine, and they are, again, they are much relatable to the real score in BTE, right? And
Thanks.
yes, and okay, so that are the basic and the things about, and the resources and the things and timing and management for the PT, that what we had a class today. And the first item type uh, in the exam will be read aloud, right? That what we will be discussing today and finishing it off. So read aloud or any of the speaking item type, three parameters you have to keep in mind: the content, fluency, and your pronunciation. Content, whatever you are looking at the screen for the read aloud, that accountable for the content. If you are adding something in that, removing something in that, it will be affecting your score negatively. So we have to read the passage as it is. Even if I'm writing, if I'm speaking and it is not there in the passage, that is affecting my content score. Every parameter is 5 marks, like altogether 15 marks from one single question, right? And obviously the overall mark for this read aloud, it will work in some other way. And the marking criteria slide I shared recently, but if you want me to, I can do that again after this one. So the content, we know that not editing, not adding any word, not removing any word. Fluency is like you are speaking at a normal pace, not too fast, not too slow, and your words are, or your accent you're following is understandable, natural, neutral, not a mixture of the accent, right? And there is a proper rhythming, phrasing, pausing, and if you're giving any stress, they are quite smooth. So all these account for your oral fluency. It seems a lot of thing, but when we know that how we are doing it and how we need to do it, it's much easy to follow. And this is the most important parameter or a factor you need to take care of in all the speaking answer question. Pronunciation. So the proper speech sound are the one parameter to judge if your pronunciation is good or not. So that's why keep your accent neutral, natural, because sometimes there are few words which are pronounced in a different way in different accents, and if we don't know the particular pronunciation in those accents, then definitely we will be losing mark on the pronunciation factor scale parameter. So better keep natural pace and speak the words as you know them in that natural neutral accent, and pronounce them with the proper speech sounds. And when you will be doing the read alouds, it will be giving you score in the reading, and this is like the top 4 scoring item type. Read aloud is one of them. So read aloud is giving you score which is imparted to your reading and to your speaking, and this is one of the top scoring item type of the entire exam. Repeat sentence being the first one, that is the most scoring item type. Out of all the item types of the PTE, the most scoring one is repeat sentence. The second, read aloud. Third, write from dictation. Just like that, this is the hierarchy of the scoring. So read aloud and repeat sentence, pay more attention to these two particular ones if you are doing practice session, and if you're getting less score in mock test, so just work on them, right? The student who are having not good repeat sentence practice, or they are not getting good marks in that, keep in mind your listening score will be affected with that, and definitely speaking score. And this is the one item type which is ultimately adding up around 100 marks alone, around, I won't say these 3 4, they are adding 100 marks alone to your 360. So you see the potential is great here with these item type. So we will be having 30-40 seconds to prepare and same to answer. So we have to do the mocking of the answer when we are doing the preparation in 34, as we are just giving the real answer, just we have to mock the same way, right? And if we find anything, any word difficult or anything which seems new to us, we haven't heard this word before or read it before, pay more attention to that word, look at the pronunciation, how you can pronounce it, so that you're not pausing or fumbling on that very word, which is quite common for us if we are encountering a word which is new or difficult to us. So we normal fumble on that very word. So to avoid that, look for any such word and practice beforehand in the preparation time, and also work on their pronunciation and keep that pronunciation uh, ready when you are recording your answer. Watch for the articles for the content, because missing the article or adding the articles both is not good for the content score. So keep it as the way they are in the read aloud passage. Singular and plurals. So sometimes we speak the singular word singular or plural word plural, but as we don't have the good pronunciation, the system is not able to record that, right? So maybe I'm saying words, right? But my words, the sir sound, the she sound at the last, it is not much clear, and system record it as word. This is again will be taken as the content error and the pronunciation error both, right? So better when you are practicing, record yourself, listen that every word you are pronouncing is listened correctly. Like if it's your plural word, it is heard plural. If it's a singular word, it is also the system, I mean you are hearing it in a singular manner, because sometimes we are not knowing that we are doing this mistake. So this again decrease your score. So always watch for singular and plural, record yourself, listen when you are doing the practice question with the scored mock test or scored apps which are giving you score and telling you, they will highlight such errors. So if such errors are there, just work on them, because they are the one which decrease your score to great extent when it comes to the read alouds. And yeah, read as it is, no addition, no removing. The other task you have to do before the recorder start uh, is to divide the paragraph into meaningful chunk to improve your oral fluency in PTE read aloud section. So meaningful chunk mean if you suppose reading something and the whosoever is listener is not understanding one single thing from that, because you are speaking in one go, there is a monotone and other person is not able to decipher like what you are trying to convey, like, right? So then that mean your fluency is not good. That mean you don't know where to take the necessary pauses, right? You do not know the rhythming, you don't know the meaningful chunking of the paragraph, right? So all these things will accountable for your fluency and the how you are conveying your message to the other person. So always divide the paragraph into meaningful chunks and see where you can take a necessary pause. So necessary pauses are always or mostly on the if there is any punctuation mark, and if there is no punctuation mark and there is a lengthy sentence, then you have to see how I can chunk this paragraph or chunk this sentence. And if any connector is there, additive, contradictory or resulting, so those are the places where you can take a pause. And in between, when you're taking a pause before full stop, it should be half a second, and on the full stops we always take a full second. So half a second and full second, they are very precise stops. It should not be felt, but yeah, you yourself giving a chance to breathe. So this will ultimately reflect in your speaking. So it will give a proper meaning to the whole paragraph you are reading, and that will ultimately improve your enabling skills as well. So this is how we are doing the chunking. Wherever there is a punctuation mark, right, comma, full stop, semicolon, any sort of punctuation mark, we are taking pause there, right? And if it's a full stop, only we are taking there, only we taking a full second pause. Besides that, every other punctuation mark, we taking only half a second pause. And you see, this is there, here there is no punctuation, and this is a lengthy sentence. And of course, if I'm speaking it one go, I am not giving the proper meaningful chunk here to understand. So you see there is a and written in here. So and is a connector connecting these two independent clauses. So this is where I can take the pause. So and, however, but, as, if, thus, hence, these are the words where you can take pause if the sentence is lengthy and there is no punctuation mark, right? So even if you read it without chunking, you will see it is very difficult to know what the other person is trying to convey. Like yellow is the most optimistic color, yet surprisingly people lose their temper most often in yellow rooms and baby cry more in them. The reason may be, so there is no meaning in that, meaning conveyed, no. Oral fluency equals to too fast, no good mark. But taking the pauses on necessary pauses, yellow is the most optimistic color, yet surprisingly, people lose their temper most often in yellow rooms and baby cry more in them. The reason may be that yellow is the hardest color on the eye. On the other hand, it speeds metabolism and enhances concentration. Think of yellow legal pads and post it notes. So you will see this is like taking the pauses, but it's like definitely not to be felt to the other person. But yes, the meaning is conveyed now. Comparing these two, the other one, the first one, it's a monotone, no meaning clear, too fast, right? Obviously, it will affect the pronunciation as well. The other one, there are pauses which are necessary, giving yourself chance to breathe, and definitely the listener is getting all the meaning of the sentence you are reading, and definitely more marks. And pronunciation is coming up clear as well. So first thing, chunk it down. This is another example of chunking the paragraph, and you see where you are, what are the hints to chunk. The punctuation mark, they are the guide. These are the places you are having that 30-second pause. These are the places a full second, and this will help you to not losing your breath, right? And focus on these comma, semicolon, full stops. Why? Because ignoring them will make your oral fluency suffer. It will be ROS will be too fast. And intonation is another key factor. Intonation is like how you are giving stress and how you are speaking the beginning of the sentences, how you are ending a sentence, right? So this is like intonation. So stress and intonation, it helps to convey the message to the reader or to the listener in a more effective way. So that mean if I'll be keeping my voice just in one particular pattern I'm speaking the whole thing, and there is no upward upswings in my voice, there are no downswings in my voice, which are called intonation, there are no stresses on few words, definitely it will be again having no proper tone in that, right? What I mean here, like suppose this one is the paragraph. When we begin it, if I'll be keeping my tone same, photography gaze widen during the early, so but photography's gaze widen during the, you see the news readers how they read the news, if they just keep the one tone, they will be very monotonous, right? They will be like obviously having no the listener having no interest in what they are, or even not understanding what they are trying to convey. So trying to convey your message perfectly and having that parameters of the oral fluency, which is intonation and stress rhythming, we have to follow the particular stress patterns and particular intonation patterns. So when we are starting a sentence, our pitch of the voice need to be bit higher, it should not be louder but bit higher. Like photography's gaze widened during the early years of 20th century, and as the snapshot camera became increasingly popular, the making of photographs became increasingly available to a wide cross section of the public. So of the public, intonating downwards, photography's gaze intonating upwards, right? And word stress, like the word, the noun we give stress on, the verbs we give stress on. And if it's a noun, where it is, yeah, if it's a noun, we are giving stress on the first syllable, that means first half of the word. And if it's a verb, we are giving stress on the later half of it, right? So you just have to know it, and ultimately your mind will be implementing this when you are doing the read alouds, right? So now it looks like a lot of things like chunking, intonation, word stress, and then that stress need to be smooth, the voice up and downs. But when you are implementing all these together, you will be like really easily gelling up with that. You don't have to do extra work for that, right? So yeah, this is like word stress is clear, chunking clear, and up and down. And this is an example of intonation, word stress, right? And chunking, we know that on the on the these punctuation marks, we are doing the chunking. You see the development of easy to use. So development and easy to use, they both are the words which are conveying meaning in the sentence, right? So that means these are two words where I will be giving stress. So I'll be giving stress on these two words. So according to if it's a noun or a verb, I'll be giving stress on the maybe first syllable or maybe last syllable. So the development of easy to use statistical software has changed the way statistics is being taught and learned. Some students can make transformation of variables, create graphs of distribution of variables, and select among statistical analysis of all the click of a button. However, even with these advancements, students sometimes find statistics to be an arduous task. So wherever the pointers are downward, the intonating voice, that means the voice need to be go downwards. Wherever the pointers are upwards, that means I am intonating, or my voice need to go little bit upwards. So every full stop, it is downward. When we are adding things in a sentence by the help of comma, say, we have to intonate upward, right? When we are contradicting statement by however, after that, again intonating downward, and every sentence ending intonating downwards. Beginning always intonating with the up sound, and ending always should be intonating down sound. So this is like rising and falling patterns. So just follow the newsreader, because that will tell you the exact way how you can imitate them, and just yeah, how you can imitate them, and it will tell you, okay, this is way the intonation, word stress, chunking can be included when we are reading these paragraphs, right? This will help also your brain to read more naturally and to convey the meaning. However, you can also stand in front of the mirror to improve the intonation and read aloud score. So again, with the apps which are assessing you, like giving you score, Record yourself, listen and see how they are marking you. Then pick another pattern, record yourself and listen and see how they are marking you. Whatever pattern they are giving you more marks, just stick to that pattern, right? Just don't rely on one website. Just go through many, one or two, three, four, which are giving you, online scoring. And obviously these all are the tactics which need to be included in your answer. If you're doing that, ultimately your score will be rising up, and wherever the highest score reach, so keep that pattern. Okay, this is the way when I speak I get the higher score, so I'll be keeping it. So this will tell you your rate of speech, the way you are intonating downwards and upwards, word stress is fine or not, are you including all the parameters. So this is how you will be reaching to a required score. And your voice need to be really loud and clear. Shaky voices, they are not treated, of course not good here. You won't be getting marks here because pronunciation is affected. Definitely no good marks for that. So to have different set of the new words, knowing different pronunciation, you can read the newspaper. Definitely they got a lot of academic the words we do not know, and do not know the pronunciation. And moreover, as I have told you, many resources, authentic resources, you can go after them as well. And definitely do not fear of anything while giving this answer, because this will definitely ruin the all the three parameters. So do and don'ts for the read aloud. Try to mock the answer before the recorders start. Definitely it will help you, and it will already giving you an image. Okay, this is how I will be speaking. Repeat, pronounce the difficult words during the preparation time. Divide the text into meaningful chunk, because if you're not doing that, you will be running out of breath, and definitely you will be taking a long pause. And if your pause is longer than 3 seconds, your mic will be off. Read at a normal pace with full confidence, right? These are the do's for the read aloud. And don'ts are, don't hesitate or repeat the sentence. Now these are must think, that you are not being hesitant, you are not repeating the sentence, you're not correcting yourself. All the three things avoidable. Do not add the extra word letter apart from the original text. Never do that, right? Whatever is there, just say that. And umming sound, if you are having in your recording, like even if you're practicing and you do like try to eliminate the umming and erring while speaking, ignore the mistakes and keep on. So you see these umming and erring sounds, so this is again reducing your score. You should not be having them. Ignore the mistakes and keep on reading the next word. Now the most important tool here is keep moving. I made a mistake, grammatical, I made a singular plural error, I added an extra word, or I removed a word from the text, I mispronounced a word. These all are the possible errors, right? But besides that, you have did any of the said error, you just have to ignore that and keep on reading, because improving that, correcting that and repeating yourself will have more negative effect rather than you made a mistake and you are moving on, right? Now this is very important to keep in mind. You have done any of such error which should not be done. Now don't go back and correct yourself, because this will affect all the three parameter: content, right, pronunciation, and definitely fluency, right? So maintain whatever, maybe you have missed the content, you will be losing few scores there, but your fluency and pronunciation is like matched, right? You may be mispronounced a word, but your content and your fluency is like on the proper scale. So that's why never go back and repeat and try to correct your errors. All right, so that's all. Tomorrow we will be doing the repeat sentence and describe image. So I'm right now stopping this session. That's all for today. Now this whole class is quite informative. It's all about the PTE, right? Do and don'ts and everything, resources and the materials where we can practice from. If anybody is after about the, from the very basic, she wants to know about PTE, you can refer to this recording, which will be available on YouTube page of CECA Sydney, right? CECA CECA Sydney YouTube page. You will be getting this website. Sorry, you will be getting this class over there. Just in case you're not going through that, there are website available for Sika. There are also these lectures are available in recorded form, so you can suggest them so that they can know what is PTE and resources, mistakes, time management. Definitely we'll be talking about marking as well someday. Okay, that's all for today. I'm ending this session. Now we'll be seeing each other tomorrow, guys. Bye bye, take care till then. Take care. Bye bye.